What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video at JDH Aquatics. We're going to be doing a first for me. So I've sort of done this before in terms of taking small pieces of coral that have detached themselves on their own and I've glued them to frag plugs, and I've done that before. But in terms of fragging and actually cutting a coral, I've never done that before. So that's going to be a first for me today. So I have a piece of Kenya tree that's been floating around the tank that was separated from like the mother colony that's not even in the tank anymore. I'm gonna glue that, or I guess rubber band it to a frag plug. And then I have a piece of green Cineraria that I'm gonna cut a small piece of, and I'm also gonna rubber band it and hope that it attaches to the frag plug. So those are the two things we're gonna be doing today. I'm gonna jump right into it. Give you guys a quick update on the anemone only tank because there's a couple small changes I did. But the tank is looking good and it's doing good, so we'll talk a little bit about that, but let's go ahead and jump into the fragging. So a quick update on the anemone only tank. So I took the lids off. That was just because I wanted it to look better. But once we add fish, we're going to put the lids back on. I'm still looking for some black egg crate that I can get locally. But once we get some fish in here, we're definitely going to have to put a lid back on. In terms of livestock for this tank, I think I am going to go with a pair of skunk clownfish once I find a pair. But yeah, we've got the same green bubble tip anemone in here. I am planning on adding one or two more here in the near future. But for right now, we're just letting the tank kind of do its thing and making sure that the original anemone is still doing good. We do need to feed him today. I'll probably do that off camera. But yeah, he's doing good, still looking plump and lush, and hasn't really moved from that single spot. So he's been there for I don't know, maybe about 2 weeks now, and he seems to like that spot, so we're just kind of leaving him alone. One thing that I did change on this tank is we did add some sand. So it was bare bottom before, but with the reef tank here next to it, I just figured it looks a little bit better to match, and it just looks more complete with sand. Nothing against bare bottoms. I honestly can't tell you if I'll ever do a bare bottom reef tank in my life. Every time I try to do a bare bottom, I end up adding sand to it, so I don't know. I think it looks complete to me. We also took out the filter sock that was here covering the inlet tube for the filter. We had it on there originally just because this guy was moving around a little bit and I didn't want him to get sucked in. So we added a filter sponge on the inlet just in case, and once we add in some more anemones, they won't get sucked in. So sand, and we added the filter sponge. Other than that, the tank has kind of just been rocking on its own, and yeah, we're gonna add some stuff in the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. On to the fragging portion of this video. So we've got this small little piece of Kenya tree way back here. It's hard to see, but it's a little guy that's attached to some sand, and it's been floating in that little corner right there for a few weeks now. So we're gonna attach him to a frag plug, which is kind of hard to see in this light. Try to turn it up for you guys here so you guys can see. But we've got a frag plug with some rubber bands attached to it on here. And what I did is I separated one band on each side so that there's not a lot of tension on the actual frag. But yeah, we got these guys set up, and then we are going to be fragging a little piece of this green Cineraria right here. So I've had this guy for maybe 2 or 3 months now, and it's been doing really well. It's been growing, and it's been in this spot established for quite some time. So we're gonna be cutting a small 1 or 1.5 inch frag off of this guy. I believe at the base on the left side, it's kind of covered and you can't really see it, so that's the plan. I've got my towels laid out, ready to go. I've got some tongs to get the actual frags once I cut them, or cut the green Cineraria. And then I've got some stainless steel scissors right here that we will be cutting the green Signularia with. Also in the back chamber where the clip is, I've got some carbon hanging in the back. So once we do those clippings, it's possible that these leathers will release some toxins, so we want to make sure that we have something in the filter chamber to absorb some of those toxins. I know that it's a good idea to take the coral out of the tank and do the fragging. I just don't have the facilities to do that right now, and I don't really want to remove the coral from its spot, so we're going to do the snipping inside of the tank. But it's only one cut. The other guy is already down here floating around. I'm trying to see and scout around to see if there's any other small frags that are floating in the sand. There's a bunch of little Kenya trees that have attached themselves all around the base of the rock, and they're kind of just floating around, but they are attached, so we're gonna leave all of those guys there, but the one that's in the sand, we'll take that one. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and take off the lids so that we can get access to the tank. These egg crate lids are incredibly easy because you just pick them up like that and you can just throw them around, and they're super cheap. So there we go, lid off, tank looks awesome. We're gonna go ahead and dive down and grab the Kenya tree first because that's gonna be the easiest piece. And we've got our tongs here. We are gonna have to get our hands a little bit wet, but these are about maybe 8 or 9 inches, so handy little things. Also, if I did not mention yet, I have a frag rack on the back corner. So when I originally set up the anemone only tank, I was planning on doing either a frag tank or a nem tank, and then I ended up choosing to do both, but we're sticking to just nems. So this is going to be anemones only, but to satisfy the people that wanted that to be a frag tank, we added a frag rack in there, and that's kind of the purpose of this video, is to get some frags going for the channel. So we got a corner frag rack in the back. We have a couple other racks that we could put in the tank, but for right now this one's got, I think, like 9 or 10 holes for frags, and if we're doing a bunch of softies like this, we can pretty much cram them all into that corner. I'm gonna go ahead and reach down with these tongs, and oh, as you guys can see, it's a teeny tiny little frag that's kind of getting pushed around. So we're gonna, now that the frag is out, as you guys can see, it's a teeny tiny little frag. We're gonna go ahead and place it onto the plug and secure it with the piece of the band, and since it's already got some rock in it, we should be able to secure it to the gravel instead of the actual coral. So I'm gonna do that now, and then I'll show you guys once it's all set up. So we've got the first frag on the rack. It's kind of small, can't really see much, but once it opens up, hopefully it'll stand up a little bit. And of course, once it attaches to that frag plug, we can snip off the rubber band and it'll just be attached to the plug. So that was an incredibly small piece of Kenya tree. It would have been much nicer to do something like this size where it's maybe 1 inch or 2. So with the green Signularia, what we're going to do is cut off a significant little section, maybe 1 inch or 2, so that we have enough coral to actually secure to the frag plug. And yeah, I think it should go well. We're going to start looking at the coral itself and seeing what pieces we want to snip, but as long as we get a clean cut, I think we should be good. We're gonna have 2 green Signularias, which is awesome, starting a separate colony, so that's the plan. Let's go ahead and do it. We got the second frag on there, the green Signularia, and to be completely honest, it was a pain in the butt. The frag plugs with the rubber bands is the stupidest thing ever. It does not work unless the frag plugs are a little bit bigger. Maybe I need larger size plugs. But I don't know. I didn't try gluing it. I think I would try doing that next time just because of how much a hassle the rubber bands are. But we'll see. Who knows? I'm honestly kind of glad I didn't turn this into a frag tank, because getting enough frags out of these corals and then actually fragging them, I don't know if I like that. But hey, we're learning here. We're trying new things, and that's the whole point. So we got both of the frag plugs set up. We're going to see how these guys do over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully they should open up and see some polyp extension tomorrow, depending on the coral's health. In terms of it actually encroaching and attaching to the frag plug, I'm not sure how much time that's going to take. So we'll do some updates over time and see how these things grow out. Everything else in the tank is doing good. All of the toadstools are really filled out and looking juicy. I am having a slight issue with the green hair algae still. I'm manually pulling it out and trimming it, but I haven't found the culprit or the source of why it's growing. I would assume it's too much light. I don't feed the tank all too much. I do have a good amount of fish, but not like an absurd amount of fish in the tank. So I do think it's too much light. I have cut it to a little bit more blues, so maybe that'll help, but I am considering taking off the aquanites, or at least turning them off for a couple of weeks and just running the new site K7 and seeing if that has any effect on the green hair algae. My phosphates and nitrates are at a good level. I don't want to add any GFO because I am afraid of dinos, so I don't know, I'm kind of stuck in the middle. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments down below. But with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. We'll be getting some more stuff for the NEM tank probably in the next couple of weeks, maybe in the next 3 weeks. But yeah, that's all that we got for today with the fragging. The green area is closed up, but I'm sure that'll be doing good in the next couple of hours. If you guys want to check out my Instagram for some updates on the frags, be sure to do that. But with all that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.